Hey guys, welcome to Rising Stars. I'm your interim host, Sean Watt. This production is sponsored by Urban Eats MTL. I'm your interim host. Michael will come back in the near future. Don't you guys worry. I have a very, very, very special guest today. I'm proud to announce Teresa.
Oh my gosh.
How are you?
Sean, I've been dying to meet you. I'm so happy to meet you.
I know. We've known each other online for a little bit. We've always been talking about, hey, are you going to go to this event, this and that.
Only social media. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Such a small world.
If I remember correctly, that was from the pandemic, right?
Yeah, from the pandemic. Like, hi, how are you? You were very supportive.
It was with Josa through her business.
MSOPA.
MSOPA, yeah, exactly. It was through one of her classes, and we met and...
Yeah, we met online, but we just connected. But there's something about your energy. And, you know, you were asking questions, and then we kind of spoke about some personal issues as well.
Absolutely.
And you were so supportive, and then you followed up like a couple of weeks later, and now I'm with you. It's beautiful outside, sunny.
I know. Everything's beautiful, right? It's a beautiful Sunday.
Love it.
Part of it was, I strongly believe in having genuine connections with people and just being honest. I'm someone who's upfront. You know, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I think that's so important.
Yeah,
you know,
and
even from like a creative aspect, right? When it comes to acting, I'm not afraid to become vulnerable and have to cry. And there's nothing wrong with a man crying. You know, and society says otherwise. They're like, no, a grown man is not supposed to cry. The way I see it too is
it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. But man or men, that's a word just for a gender. It doesn't mean anything else other than that, right?
Exactly.
So So you are an actress.
Yes.
Producer. Writer.
Yep.
Director.
I haven't directed.
You haven't?
No, and that is a goal of mine.
Well, why haven't you?
You know, in between the lines, I did direct, like sometimes.
So
but I don't have the title of it, and I think I'd be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But I haven't directed per se, and my name is nowhere as a director. But that is something that I would love to do in the future.
I think directing is very interesting because you get to put what you're envisioning inside your head on screen.
Exactly.
Right? So you go from writing it out to putting it on screen to doing really cool angles from the way that you see the story being told, which is almost like a POV version of how you envision the story.
Sometimes I watch these movies and I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I would have put him here, or maybe this action I would have placed it later on, or you know, like even a cup here, or I don't know. There's just something about the direction, even for the actor, because sometimes it's so hard, like to bring the actor to a specific point. When we do sometimes workshops, and the way we're directed means a lot. It's like either a success or a flop, right? Of
course.
And I find that having a good director makes the movie absolutely, you know, of course, the camera, the lighting, the sound, whatever. But when you have good direction and the story is great and you're directed well, I mean, it's a win. Right? So that's a challenge, and I'd love to do that in the future, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you had to choose a genre film to direct for your directorial debut, what would you choose?
Drama.
Drama. That was so fast.
Drama.
I didn't even finish that question.
Yeah, no, not even a thought. No comedy, no love, no emotions, no horror. Drama.
So if you had to choose, would it be a TV series, feature film, or a short film? And let's just say you're already a master of, directing. Which one of those three would you choose?
I think I would choose a television series just because I wrote a television series. I have submitted a series, and that's a project that I'm not giving up on. So maybe I would say a television series, short term. Long term, who knows? Things change in life, you know.
Sometimes opportunities present themselves, or point of perspective and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I would probably do a television series.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every week. Everybody would like...
It's kind of exciting.
A future Sopranos or something, you know?
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have that inspiration, or if you have a good, solid story to tell, I think that's key. And I think part of it is trying to keep the viewers captivated by, every scene, not just the story, but keeping all the scenes very interesting. Because there's a lot of people that they don't have a large attention span anymore. It's very short, right? And I think social media has a big influence on that.
Big influence.
Now.
Big influence. And you see the series that I was doing for television, it is a drama, but there's some comedic portions in it. And I did get someone to help me write it because at first I did all the legwork, but then I noticed I was getting pitches like from big production companies like Echo Media and anyway, from Toronto. And then I during the pandemic, somebody here in the French production asked me if I could do it in French, and I says, well, I don't have a writer in French, but I can find it. Go, okay, send us a story in English. And then I said, okay, I'm going to get someone to do it. So we merged together. He really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And so it is a drama, but a little bit of comedy inside.
Okay,
you know?
so that's called a dramedy, I believe.
Yeah, but it's more drama, but there is a little bit of comedic.
Is it like slapstick humor, lighter humor?
No, lighter.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a story, and it's great, you know. So it touches a little bit my Italianism, if you can call it.
Yeah, I've
noticed.
noticed. I've noticed.
Right, with the hands.
Very subtle.
Yeah, I try to keep them like, you know.
Yeah.
But so who knows? Maybe I'll be directing that. I doubt it, but you know.
You never know.
Yeah,
you never know, right? I mean,
right.
only you know the story truly, 100% at heart, and they'd be crazy not to give you that opportunity to even just do an episode or two.
Yeah.
They'd be crazy.
I think the demand is there, but it's who did they choose? Like this company here, I did the pitches.
Well,
you go to
the way
first
the way
round,
that
the
I see
second
it
round.
too is budget-wise. Since you're a newer director, I don't have to pay you as much as someone who's more experienced and like has awards. And that's not devaluing you.
No.
It's giving you the chance to have that opportunity to make your mark in the industry.
Exactly.
And that's not the down value, to devalue you.
No,
it's just,
of course
those
not.
are facts.
But that's the way it is, right? That's
Yeah.
the way it is. It's experience speaks for itself, and then they go for what they know and who they
usually,
know.
that could lead to something else because now they're saying, okay, you know what, you're a good worker, you're a good director. Okay, now let's give you more opportunities, and now suddenly the wage will come with, your experience.
Exactly.
That's the way I see it.
But I don't give up, so we'll never know. We never know. It's I feel that it will. Somebody, I'm going to be knocking at the right door.
Yeah.
It's just who will open it, right? So once it's open, I'm in.
You've probably knocked 1,000 times, and that's like with acting as well, right? You do so many auditions, and there's so much rejection involved. Yeah. And you just gotta
love
not
yourself.
take it personal. Yeah. And pat yourself on the back and say, "There, girl. It's okay." Like a horse. So
God.
reaffirmation. That's what it's called.
All the time.
Okay, so let's take it back to little Teresa. How did you get into acting?
We hear so many of these stories. Hey, the question. How did you get into
it is,
acting?
because not everybody wants to do it, but it takes a certain personality type to really get into it. Right? Like when you start hanging out with actors, you start realizing your group, they're like very much like you. We're all weird in the best way possible.
Everyone has their own story, right?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, to be honest with you, I always used to sing. I had a pretty good voice. I was a smoker, I quit, whatever. But I did have a good voice. I was always around musicians. And from when I was small, I remember I'd blare the radio on and I'd be singing. And
let's take it back 1 sec. Are you born and raised in Montreal?
Yes.
Or did you come? Okay,
I was
because
born
you
and
are
raised here.
Italian, so I just had to ask.
Very strict family, but I was like the black sheep, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
But my parents are fantastic, so I can't, But like every European household, they never wanted they wanted the best for their kids, right? Oh, you're going to become a lawyer, a doctor.
Yeah, it's the typical immigration kind of story.
Exactly.
Right?
And I know I want to become a singer. I want to become an actor. Whatever. But I wasn't speaking. Acting was not really there.
So it was singing. You were
was
around
more
these
singing.
musicians.
And I've got this book at home. I used to write. They used to have these fan clubs, and I've got like Frank Sinatra's autograph, the Beverly Hillbillies
That's pretty
autograph.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was great.
Wow.
And then one day. That moment, I was watching.
The moment.
I was
very dramatic.
Yeah, I was taking drama. In high school, you take drama. But I was watching TV, and there was a black and white film. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane with Betty Davis. I was like starstruck. I'm like, oh my God, I want to be Betty. Like this woman did everything. Like her role, like she was happy, she was singing, she was evil. She was mad, she was like a psychotic, and the whole film itself. I says, oh, look, I'm getting shivers. I says, that's what I want to be.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. So then, of course, my parents are, no, you know, you're not going to do that. You're going to become a doctor. I go, no, I'm not. Anyway, so...
and that's why you're the black sheep. You're like, no.
So that was my first moment where I really wanted to do it.
Okay.
But I never pursued it because...
Out of fear?
Not out of fear.
Or just
I
not
guess
wanting...
I just wanted to explore life. I just wanted to see things, and like, you know what? You're young. You just want to, and I'm a very strong believer that the universe comes to you, and
It does, but also you need to project a certain amount of work ethic for
correct.
that universe to respond, right? It's
You're
not
right.
that you just
Yeah.
sit there and everything comes to you. There's a law of attraction.
but
I believe in that.
Yes, but it guides you to where you need to be at that moment. Like, I wasn't meant to be on a screen or somewhere in that time frame, you know? The travel industry kind of fell on my lap. So, like, travel, I can travel, you know?
Okay.
And I did it for over 20 years. I traveled all over the place. I even lived in the islands.
Was it for your work?
For work, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was working for tour operators for the airlines. I worked at Destination.
So you really just took advantage of those perks.
Yeah,
and you're like,
I did.
okay,
You know, it had its ups and downs, but I mean, I loved it.
Literally.
Yeah. And then when I came back to Montreal, it was tough to reintegrate in the industry, and the industry wasn't the red carpet anymore, you know, in the travel industry. I said, you know what, I need to take my passion, which was acting, entertainment, and make it happen.
Yeah.
So I said, you know, maybe I'll go in a communications company. It paid, you know, whatever. Yeah. So I went, and I mean, it was 15 years. It was great, but it didn't get me to where I wanted to go. And then I got some kind of a health scare, and that's when I said, no, it's now or never. And so I started late. I only started in 2000, and I think I left the company at 2010. I left everything. I dropped everything. Pension, you name it, I left everything.
Yeah.
I had zero. And I says, I'm taking my passion and making it happen. So I started in about 2012.
That kind of rhymes, but yeah.
Yeah.
So 2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
2012, and so I started
between
late.
2010, 2012, obviously maybe a health scare or something like that, right?
Yeah.
There was a delay in terms of starting it.
No.
But, okay.
It was in 2009. So when I quit the company,
Yeah.
I had a small business where I was doing party favors and gift baskets and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's one client that came and said, because people call me Terry as well, right?
Yeah.
They saying, Terry, you would be great, you know, in TV. And I looked at her and I go, really? I goes, you know, that's always something I wanted to do and I want to work on it.
Yeah.
So she said, I have an agent. I know an agent that is looking for someone for a commercial, St. Hubert commercial, you know. Can I give her your name? I said, yeah. The rest is history.
Did you book it?
No, I didn't book it because I wasn't union. But like I walked in there, if I had that same, like, no, I walked in, hello, everybody, you know, my name is Teresa, I'm here for the audition. They looked at me saying, where's she coming from?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they know that she's
no
new.
No fear. And then they were discussing, and I'm like, excuse me, I can do anything you want. And they're looking at me saying, like, who is this woman? But we had a great converson.
Yeah.
But I didn't get it. I wasn't UDA, I wasn't ACTRA. So I didn't get it. But from that moment on, everything, I worked very hard. And that's where I created my television series.
Yeah.
And that's when I sent it in and I started all on my own, like no help from nobody.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of that.
Usually,
I have to say.
like I know exactly what you're going through because I'm writing my own TV series as well, and it's a one-man team is so hard.
Very hard.
I mean, it's hard, but it's very fulfilling and rewarding, and I think it's a matter of, like, in my situation, I'm not forcing the writing.
No.
So I need to have the inspiration for the scenes, and then I'll go off for 6 hours straight without eating, just drinking water. And I'm going through it. Yeah, and I'm on my phone and I'm writing nonstop, right? It's gotten to the point now where I don't even have to look at my keyboard and I can just write everything.
That's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like autopilot, but I need to get everything out, right? And then I'll go back after and I'll review. Why did I write that? Now I have to delete it. Okay.
Yeah. I think working alone is great because I enjoy it because
you depend on yourself.
You depend on yourself, but you need a lot of discipline to do that. However, that being said, you need a team. You
do.
need
No.
a
The
team.
cold hard facts, of course.
Like I noticed that. Like I was trying to do it all on my own. I did all the groundwork and all the research and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but then to put it on its foot and start really, you do need a team.
Of course,
And-
you reach a certain point where you do need a
Yeah.
team. Absolutely, I
and
agree.
you need a team.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I remember when I took a business class, one of the things that the teacher said is that whenever you get a partner or a team to work on a project, it stayed on my mind. And they said, picture this: you're with that team or you're with that partner. Will you be able to spend the weekend completely with this person, eat with them, talk with them, sleep in the same quarters, use the same shower facilities, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that whole weekend, do you see yourself 24/7 with that person or that team for the weekend? If there's a hesitation, just one,
Then no.
that's not the team for you.
No.
That's not the crowd for you. That's not the partner for you.
No.
And he was so right when he said that. So I do believe, like you said, it's great to work alone because I am like that.
Yeah.
But you need a team.
No.
But
Like-
you need the right team.
Yeah.
You
And
have to
gel.
Yes.
I like to compare myself, like you were saying at the beginning. I'm not a hen, but I'm a rooster who's incubating the egg. I'm sitting on the egg, and when it starts
What
to
a way to
hatch,
put that, okay.
when it starts to hatch, then I bring in others hens to help me out with the chicks, right? I'm not a hen. You are. So it's sort of like that, right? I'm incubating, I'm warming everything up
Yeah.
till something beautiful hatches.
Hatches.
Hopefully. Maybe it's a black swan or something. I don't know. I
nice.
don't know, but there's something there, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's very important. So let's talk about your education, your training. Where did you start training? And do you have any recommendations for up and coming actors or for aspiring actors in terms of training?
Yeah. So again, I did everything on my own. I did a lot of research and things like that. So the first acting class I took was with Susanna Lanier.
Okay.
She does camera work. It's camera workshops. Very easy. You go in, do your thing. It's audition. Workshop, scene workshop. But it's so easy, and she's just great.
I've only heard good things about her.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
So she's the first one that I went to. She's my first acting coach, and I loved her. I also did Tom Todoroff when he came to Montreal.
Yeah.
That's a total another experience. It's he's.
Did you perform or audit?
I audited once and I performed twice. I even did his summer 2 weeks. Was it 1 week? 1 week or
It's
2
1
weeks?
week. 1 week
1 week
intensive. Yeah.
intensive in New York, which was amazing. So I did Tom, and then I went to Gilles Plouffe.
Okay.
I did MSOPA.
heard
I'm sorry, I should go back.
MSOPA?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I did MSOPA, but MSOPA I did most of her voice classes.
Okay, so
with-
did you do like their foundation work there?
No, I
They
didn't
have
do her
just
foundation. I
scenes?
did just scenes. I
Okay.
did their audition. I did the voice classes with Paula Davis. I did the improv with
Yeah.
Terrence. So I did MSOPA.
Okay.
And then I went to Gilles Plouffe.
Yeah.
And at Gilles Plouffe, it's realistic acting. With
I
John,
heard about that, yeah.
John Strasberg. It's not easy, because you have to come out of your, when you're in this class, you come out of your shell. And
That's the idea. That's truthful acting.
Yeah.
Right.
So but it was amazing what I learned from him, what I learned from the students in there, and we become a family. It's always the same. Like every month, it was the same 5 people, and then.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say Sean would show up and he'd do 2 classes and then he wouldn't come back. But us, we kept on going all the time,
Yeah.
right? And then it's been a while now that I haven't been there at Gilles because life brings you everywhere else.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
time is...
yeah.
But it was great. Like, I learned a lot with Gilles, and I think he's amazing. They all have their qualities and strengths. Josa has hers, and so does Susanna,
So I'm sort of like you. Like I'm a journeyman.
Yeah.
I will learn different techniques from different
Yeah.
private coaches and different institutes.
But
and then I'm taking a little bit of this and this and this, and I'm making who I am.
Yeah. The only thing, Sean, I find with that is that you tend to lose yourself sometimes because, you're going with one person, she teaches you one certain way, and then all of a sudden I go see someone else, and then he brings you to another thing, and then, so you're kind of a little bit lost. So I think it's important to keep the same momentum with the same teacher, because you're really going to learn a lot. Like, yeah, I've done so many. There's no more space on my resume.
I
So,
know,
so
it's crazy.
my agent says, Teresa, you have to delete. So I kind of remove, because I've done everything.
Certain ones.
You know,
Yeah,
like
that's how I am too.
Yeah, so I delete them all. So I've done so many. It's great because you know, Meisner, and you take a little bit from here and there, you know. But I do think you do need one mentor. You do need one person.
I have that one person.
Yeah.
And I've been sticking with them ever since.
Well, there you go.
Private coach, and I trust them.
And that's what I was
good.
doing with Jill. I was doing some semi-private. I was like, let's say I would choose you, and I would say, Sean, do you want to do a month with Jill, and we're going to do, you know,
Back and forth.
Yeah, just do one scene, theater or film, and we work on that. You know, which was great. So I did it with a young girl, and 16-year-old. So it was great. So I got to be the mom, and so we had a great scene. So I prefer that instead of like large groups. I just
that's what I prefer.
Yeah.
If I'm going to invest in me as an artist, I want to be selfish.
Exactly.
I do not want to pay $400 for 10 minutes of my time when I put a week's worth of work in.
Yeah.
If I'm going to put a week's worth of work in, I want the full hour or more.
Yeah.
Because I deserve that.
You deserve
know,
that.
You deserve
it
that,
comes to
and
you,
everyone else deserves that. So that's something where I strongly agree with you on, and that's the reason why I've gone the private coach route, and I've stayed there ever since, and I'm very content and happy with that.
Good for you.
You know?
Good for you. It's very good.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about, you know, I've read and seen that you've had quite a bit of accolades for a recent short film and this and that. Share us, you know, about that experience and the story and your role and the whole journey as a whole. Feel free to share with the viewers.
You know, it's funny. I always dreamt Emmy Awards, Oscars. I used to sit there and watch, and I always like visualized my name being called. You know, I even visualized it with changing of my name. You know, Teresa Picciano. You know, like I always visualized it. It was so funny. So getting these accolades, it's like a dream come true, and I'm so honored because you work with so many people that brought you there, that take you there. Like some films, you know, with actors, you know, like you when the actor is working with you, like it's not only me that won, it's them as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's because of them that I won. So it's an honor, and I'm really, really proud. So all these accolades I've been getting recently were from a film directed and produced by Joe Rossi. Okay. Little Dog Film Productions, it's called. Yeah. And it was a good role because it's very simple. It's a simple role, but it kind of spoke to me. It's my life situation a little bit. And I worked with the talented Michaela Di Cesare. I worked with Bianca De Luca. Yeah. So it was great. Like to get these awards and, you know, be recognized, it was amazing. Yeah. So and then the films that I've produced and worked on, Seamless Journey, which you know also. Of course. With Joannis, who doesn't know, you know, with Elio Costello and everyone. Yeah. So great team, by the way. And Mate and Date and 55, those are my 3 short films that I've issued, and those... well, especially Mate and Date and Seamless. They won a lot of awards.
They've all had a lot of success. It seems like everything you touch has some magic to it. And I think that's part of, you know, being true to you as an artist when it comes to writing and producing, and then surrounding yourself with the right team for success. Yes. No, right? I was fortunate for that, and I always had people that, you know, volunteered and their time and you know, like their budgets too, like there was no budget, right? So everybody got involved, everybody gave in and pitched in, you know, especially for Seamless Journey, because the second day shoot was long, you know, but the first day was in a manufacture, so it was a lot of work. I watched it. Yeah, I remember seeing that. You know what impressed me? Everybody arrives, the call time was like at 7 or 7:30 a.m., right? So it's on the Chambanel area. It's not so early considering some call times, but it was early, like, you know? Yeah. So the whole crew arrives, right? Yeah. There was like 30 extras. It was like... Jeez. Yeah, it was big. So everybody's running around. I'm running around. Like I didn't know where I was coming or going. So all these crew, they started at 7:30, and we shot the last scene outside. It was like maybe 8:30 p.m. or 9, because it had to be dark. These guys had the same energy
like at 7 o'clock. And I'm saying that's what passion is all about.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
when you
love
truly
of
love
your
it.
job is all about. Like, this is the way it should always be. They were amazing. I can never, ever, ever, if I was able to film that moment and keep it so that everybody could see what passion meant. You know, like love. It was incredible. Like, nobody was complaining. Nobody was sad. Nobody was like coughing. Nobody was like, they're just, okay, what's next? You know, it was like boom, boom, boom. It was amazing.
They knew that part of it was, you know, the love, and then
Yeah.
also just the appreciation, the gratitude, and then just, you know, them knowing that it's their job to get the shoot done. So, you
Exactly.
know, it's all those things sort of accumulating together, and that's what you get.
Yeah, and
right?
how can the
So-
film not be a success with a team like that? It's impossible. It's impossible. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
True passion shows.
Yeah, and I'm grateful. I'm so
Yeah.
grateful. So.
Okay, wow, congrats. I mean, I've seen all the posts, and then, oh, it's, you know, this Seamless Journey won this award, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I think we're at like 100 accolades at this point.
I know. And you know, there's one more. Maybe I'll mention it.
Yeah, go ahead, promote it. Yeah, you're
So I'm
promoting it.
Italian. I'm from the Molise area, from Campobasso. It's about 3-hour drive from Rome, 2 hours from Naples.
Where, north? Where is
South.
it? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm not too familiar with,
Yeah.
you know.
So it's like we're in the countryside in Matese and Campitello, where the ski resorts are and whatever. So the Seamless Journey is a story about my parents.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some fictitious moments in there, fiction here.
Yeah.
But I play my mom, you know, so it's in memory of my mom too, because my mom passed away. So
My condolences.
Thank you. And I really wanted my father to see something that I've done, you know, like so. I did show it in Italy 3 years ago when I went, and that was special.
I saw a
'cause-
post on that too, yeah.
I did it in La Piazza in Campo Chiaro, and we had, everybody was sitting outside. You know, I ordered pizza for everybody. You know,
Amazing.
it was just beautiful, and that week it had rained except that day. It was just like
So crazy,
perfection.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
And now this year, I always try to remember the exact name, but it's the Cultural Tourism of Il Molise, something like that.
Okay.
From the August 5th to August the 11th, they're kind of celebrating all the stories and history of all the immigrants that left Italy and went to North America to find a better life, right?
Yeah, okay.
So because my film is about immigration and whatever, they said, okay, you know, would you like to show the film? Like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm going in August. And that's going to be the last time that I'll be showing like Seamless Journey, like through festivals
For
or
like
through
the
events.
circuit and stuff like that. Okay.
So it's kind of the last blessing, and then I'll release it so that everybody can watch it online, like
Yeah,
on
of
YouTube.
course. Yeah.
But that's a big honor. So
Wow.
I got
It's not,
the Quebec MPs and the Canadian MPs to give me like pins.
Yeah.
So I'll be giving pins to all the guests,
Yeah.
all the municipality personnel as
Yeah.
well. I got some flags, you know,
Nice.
Canada flags to
Of
give
course,
to the
come
children
on, they gotta-
that the MPs here in Montreal gave me as well.
Okay.
So I'm really honored, you know.
it's a really nice way to cap it off on like such a journey, a seamless journey,
Yeah,
so to speak, right?
exactly.
So I mean, it's very ironic.
Yeah, and what I
it's-
also did is 3 weeks ago, I think I mentioned before, I went to Halifax. And one of the reasons I went to Halifax is I wanted to go to Pier 21, where all the immigrants arrived from Europe. Like example in my
That's
case.
interesting.
Yeah, they left Naples. Like my mom, she left Naples, she arrived in Halifax, and then she took the train to Montreal. And I actually went to the Pier 21. I mean, I sat there, I closed my eyes. I just felt that the energy of all these immigrants, like, they didn't have the language, they didn't have any money, they were poor.
Yeah,
Like,
just hopping off.
yeah,
right?
like they left all their cows and like whatever behind
Everything.
just to come to make a life and create a family and like and not to have their
a new
families live.
beginning.
Yeah, a new beginning, exactly. It was amazing to see. I mean, of course, it's renovated, whatever, but there were certain spots that were they were the actual docks and the actual
Like still rustic
flooring,
and stuff like
yeah,
that, huh?
the seating. So I actually took a picture. I was sitting there and I'm like, oh my, you know, I remember, you know. And so I said, how can I go to Italy and not speak about Halifax, you know? So I had to go. So
Yeah,
I went.
yeah.
So now I got the feel. I got the. I
The
have my mom's landed
experience
immigration
and-
card.
Oh, yeah?
I got everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a tremendous story.
So
And
I'm anxious to show it. Yeah.
you should.
Yeah.
No, you should absolutely promote that. And so, where do you see yourself? Let's say 5 years from now, in the industry.
it's not an easy industry, as we all know.
No,
Nothing
no.
is easy, right?
Nothing, no.
And I was speaking to someone just earlier, and we're missing productions, right? We need lots of productions here.
Yeah, big time.
And I know that I have a project in mind that I want to do. I think I've been interviewed and I've been speaking of this project for the last 2 years. I haven't, and I always say again, the universe is telling me it's not the time, it's not this, it's not that.
You'll know when it's the time.
Yeah, and I know that the time is here now, and it's a feature film. So in the next 5 years, that's what I want to do. It's a feature film, and I'd love to co-produce like with
yeah,
Italy.
of course, yeah.
So that's something that hopefully I can work on, and that's a big goal for me.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't come to you, you got to go to it. So if there's no productions here, you got to produce your own work. I mean,
which is why I started writing as well. 'Cause
exactly.
I was like, this is crazy.
I mean, it's like, I want to work. Well, to find work, you have to go look for the job.
I would say, it's safe to say,
Yeah.
safe assessment to say that Montreal probably has some of the most talented, authentic, original creators
I think
in
so.
Canada. I think so, because
I
Toronto
think
has
so.
so many productions that a lot of the artists there, they don't have time to create their
Yeah.
own projects. Vancouver, likewise. Montreal, we're kind of the odd ones out, and we're like, we've got to create, right? So that,
But we're so talented. We're so ethnic over here. There's like every nationality possible here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Like just walking on Sherbrooke Street, you think you're in Europe.
Yeah.
So you've got the Italians, you've got the Greeks, you've got the Arabics, you've got the Romanians,
Ukrainian now,
Ukrainian.
and,
We're becoming like Europe in soccer. Like everybody's so tense with the soccer games, and so it's the same thing. So. It's. I really hope that in the future the productions do increase here, not only in English but in French as well. Because at least we have the French, but they don't hire.
the way I see it is, you can help, introduce the Italian side of things too.
Yeah,
even
exactly. I always
you have
say
that background, so I mean.
But it's funny. It's because when they're casting for an Italian, they kind of always think of me. They always say, "Oh, there's Teresa."
How could you not? It's like you and like somebody else.
There's like Teresa,
Yeah.
So I've had it fortunate, like on the French side, like I just did one recently, and
Like
I
a
auditioned
UDA
for another.
project?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was another one for TVA, also Indéfendable,
Yeah.
Tina Panipinto,
Okay.
she arrived
Ooh,
from
fancy.
Italy.
That even sounds fancy, huh?
Yeah, nice name. That was a great experience. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I switched agents, and I have, the agent in Toronto who represents me worldwide, is because I wasn't getting opportunities here. So now she's providing opportunities worldwide, which is amazing, right?
That's
Just
good.
because I'm ambitious and things like that, and it was a personal choice. Not everyone has to do what I've done, but people, like yourself, you are an authentic creator.
Yeah,
and that's a very beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, your accolades speak for themselves. Your team speaks
thank
for
you.
itself.
Yeah.
You need to, never lose sight of who you are as an artist.
True.
Never.
Very true.
Never,
Never lose.
never.
No.
You need to always pat yourself on the back and go, there, girl, it's okay.
Exactly. So anyway, when I do my feature, I'll have a role for you, okay?
I'm going to work on my Italian accent then, right?
True.
One last question before we wrap up. To those that are, the child actors, the ones that are aspiring to be actresses or actors, can you give them some advice to take that leap of faith to becoming an artist?
First of all, take your passion and make it happen. Mm-hmm. Don't listen to anybody. I know, there's your parents or this or that. Times have changed. Mentality is different. So it's
100%.
not. So parents are more open, more liberal, and whatever, which is a great, But definitely, if that's what you want to do, you do it. I know that everything, there's security questions, financial, whatever.
What if they're afraid to do it? Like some people are so anxious, they're afraid of judgment from their peers.
Yeah, well.
How can you get them over the hump to be like, just go for it, take that leap?
You have no choice. We're all, I went, I didn't want to go in front of the classroom and everybody looked at me.
It's very intimidating, isn't it?
I was in my first workshop because I didn't have space on the beginners. I was with the advanced, and these guys were going there, we're just doing scene work. 10-minute scene work, and I was blown away. Yeah. And then here I am, I go there, and I can't even remember my first line. I was so embarrassed, I was shaking, But that's the part of doing things. You have to, So I would just say to end, you got to take your passion, you got to make it happen, you got to do it, and don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes in life you have to realize that maybe that you your want and your desire is more stronger than the actual result, you know?
Yeah.
So if at the end, because I know a couple of people that it happened to, if at the end you've given your 109%, and then you wake up one morning saying, you know what, maybe I'm not meant to do this.
Yeah.
And then you're satisfied, and look, today, some of them are artists, you know, whatever. So that's the reality check. But you have to try. You got to give you 100%. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You have to.
Beautiful and very well said. And, you know, we're going to wrap it up right now. So, I know it sucks. We were having a great time.
I know,
And it was so great.
It was great meeting you. I'm so glad
meeting you as well.
I wish you so much success. You're just a terrific guy. You've got great energy.
Thank you.
And doing
you
this
as well.
is great.
You know, just to
Thank you
get
so
to
much.
meet each other in person, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's another episode of Rising Stars. I'm your interim host, Sean Watt. This production sponsored by Urban Eats MTL. What a fantastic guest. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Teresa.
much.
I know, thank you so much. Yeah, mwah, mwah, mwah.
Grazie.
Yeah, grazie. I'll catch you guys on the next episode.